نازل بورم غابة.
तो वो बहुत ही कम बातें कहता है। और एक तो ऐसा है कि जो अनकॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल भी डिक्लेयर कर जा चुका है। तो हालांकि लेकिन हम
American workers. We appreciate, Bob, your efforts. You've worked so hard. Great. And taking action to oppose sexual tariffs for imported residential washing machines and all solar from. My administration is committed to companies hurt from harmful import surges that threaten the livelihood of the workers, jobs actually all over this country, many industries. Today, I'm also directing and continue supporting industry discussions to resolve duties on these and similar products in the United States and China. We support a resolution that is in the interest of American workers and also the American consumer. We're going to benefit our consumers and we're going to create a lot of jobs. Our action today helps to create jobs in America for Americans. It will provide a strong incentive for LG and Samsung to follow through on their recent promises to build major manufacturing plants for washing machines right here in the United States. When we do this, a lot of manufacturers will be coming to the United States to build washing machines and also solar. For both solar and washing machines, these executive actions uphold the principle of fair trade and demonstrate to the world that the United States will not be taken advantage of anymore. Our companies will not be taken advantage of anymore. And our workers are going to have lots of really great jobs with products that are going to be made in the good old USA. And that's what this is all about. So I'm going to start signing. We'll go here first. This is to facilitate positive adjustment to competition from imports of large residential washers and washing machines, etc. Thank you. It's a very big industry, and you're going to have a lot of plants built in the United States that we're thinking of coming, but they would have never come unless we did this. Big industry, a lot bigger than people would understand. And this is similar, but this is for solar products. So that we'll be making solar products now, much more so in the United States. Our companies have been decimated, and those companies are going to be coming back strong. So this is panels and products generally, solar. potentially great industry in this country, but now we'll be making it. So this is panels and products generally, solar. Potentially great industry in this country, but now we'll be making it in the United States. Okay, a lot of workers, a lot of jobs. And these are our letters to Speaker of the House and essentially saying, let's go, we're done, we're ready, and this will start very rapidly. Okay, to the Speaker. And I think I'll give this pen to Mr. Robert Lighthizer. We're, as you know, negotiating a new deal with NAFTA. We're renegotiating our deal with South Korea, which has turned out to be a disaster for this country. It was a deal that was going to create 200,000 jobs, and we lost 200,000 jobs. We're renegotiating that. NAFTA is moving along pretty well. I happen to be of the opinion that if it doesn't work out, we'll terminate it. But I think you're doing pretty well, Bob, from what I understand. So we'll see how it all works out. And we'll be doing other trade deals. We're in the process of negotiating with other countries also, all of which have treated us very unfairly. We had very poor representation for many years, and it's hurt our workers. It's hurt our factories. It's hurt our companies. And that is stopping. And you're seeing what's happening with the stock market. People are appreciating what we're doing. The biggest thing we've done probably is regulation, and followed closely behind by the greatest tax cuts in the history of our country. But I think regulation is on a par with that. So a lot of people are watching us. I'm going to Davos. We'll be talking about investing in the United States again for people to come in and spend their money in the good old USA. And that's what they're doing. We have massive amounts of money coming in. Apple, as you know, just announced they're going to spend $350 billion in the United States, which I believe is the largest amount ever invested in this country by a company. $350 billion, jobs all over the place, all over the country. They're going to build a magnificent campus. We have other people coming in, other companies. I've been called by at least 10 major executives, and they're going to be announcing very shortly major investments in the country and major investments for the people of our country, really almost more than anything else mean jobs. So we're bringing business back to the United States for the first time in many, many years, many, many decades, really. And we're very proud of it. And that's why the stock market is reacting the way it is. Okay? Thank you all very much. Very proud of this. Thank you. No, I'm not at all.
Thank you, everyone.
I didn't, but I'm not at all concerned. Thank you all very much.
Thanks, everyone.
We're looking at it. We're looking at a lot of things.
Are you concerned about the senior leadership at the FBI?
Thanks, everyone.
Let's see how it all works out. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
We're looking at it. We're looking at a lot of things.
Are you concerned about the senior leadership at the FBI?
Thanks, everyone.
Let's see how it all works out. Thank you all very much.
Did you know that there may be as many as 150 different models of washing machines sold in the United States? U.S. washing machine manufacturers compete with other domestic producers, and they compete with foreign imports on top of that. Now, say you're an American washing machine producer and you think the competition from abroad is just too stiff. What can you do? Well, you could ask the government to turn to a little used trade remedy called a safeguard. In fact, that's exactly what happened in October of last year. A safeguard is a temporary restriction on imports of a specific product. The domestic industry asks for safeguard protection if the industry believes they are being seriously injured by imports. Safeguards are applied when the injury is a result of fairly traded imports. Safeguards are actually permitted by trade rules, but only under specific conditions. The action must be temporary. There must be evidence of serious injury to the domestic industry. The safeguard must be applied in a non-selective manner, and there must be adjustment by the affected industry rules, but only under specific conditions. The action must be temporary. There must be evidence of serious injury to the domestic industry. The safeguard must be applied in a non-selective manner, and there must be adjustment by the affected industry. So in the short term, safeguards sound like they're good for domestic producers. But what about everybody else? Safeguards leave consumers with fewer options and often higher prices. This is one reason why safeguard measures are rarely used. Another reason is, in today's world of global supply chains, it's often hard to establish what a domestic industry actually is. Now, even when these safeguard measures have been put in place in the past, domestic producers don't have a great record of making the changes to better deal with foreign competition. So yes, a safeguard does provide a temporary cushion to a domestic industry, which would otherwise be harmed by fair foreign competition. But in a world where consumers want high-quality products, wide selection, and low prices, there are enough downsides to slapping on a safeguard measure to make them a seldom-used tool in the trade toolkit.
Here on Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, the War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman in New York, joined by Democracy Now! Co-host Juan Gonzalez in Chicago. Hi, Juan.
Hi, Amy, and welcome to all of our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
Well, it's been nearly 3 years since much of the world shut down as COVID-19 rapidly spread.
Attention, l'État recherche 300 propriétaires à qui donner 10 000 € d'aide. Je m'explique. La France vient de mettre en place une nouvelle campagne.
Solar news. Bifacial modules say goodbye to tariffs. Welcome back to HaHa Smart Solar News. July 12, 2019, the U.S. Trade Representative announced it was granting an exemption to the solar panel duties for bifacial modules. October 4, 2019, the Trump administration announced that beginning October 28, 2019, the bifacial modules would be subjected to the 25% Section 201 tariffs. In November, the U.S. Court of International Trade issued a temporary restraining order on revoking the bifacial module exemption. December 5th, the U.S. Court of International Trade announced that once again it was allowing the exclusion of the bifacial modules from the Section 201 tariffs to remain in place for the foreseeable future. The initial restraining order was granted after the SEIA intervened in a case to the U.S. Court of International Trade on behalf of Chicago-based developer Invenergy Renewables. The developer said it entered into contracts with module pricings based on having the bifacial exemption, and that the USTR's exemption revocation violated the Administrative Procedure Act. SEIA President and CEO Abigail Ross Hopper said, "This is an important temporary reprieve for the bifacial module exclusion. We will continue to make the case that the Section 201 tariffs are harming the U.S. industry and the American consumer, and that the bifacial exclusion was a fair and reasonable solution to the problem of domestic module supply shortage." The original Section 201 tariffs on imported panels currently stands at 25% and will drop to 20% in 2020. The tariffs are up for midterm review in February 2020. Do you think the midterm review will overturn the tariffs for all solar imports? Head over to hahasmart.com and let us know.
Domestically. Meanwhile, Equatorial 10 Ivory Coast lost Maroon, Chad, Congo. They look nothing like each other, yet they are part of the same scheme, a scheme that pegs both currencies to the euro rate.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Heritage Foundation and our Lewis Lehrman Auditorium. We, of course, welcome those who join us on our heritage.org website on all of these occasions. For those here in-house, we would ask that courtesy to see that our mobile devices have been silenced or turned off. Of course, those watching online are welcome to send their questions or comments at any time, simply emailing speaker@heritage.org. And of course, we will post today's program on the Heritage homepage for your future reference as well. Leading our discussion is Tori Whiting, who is our research associate in the Center for International Trade and Economics. She focuses on the writing, editing, and promotion of Heritage's premier publication, the Annual Index of Economic Freedom. Bachelor's degree in International Relations from James Madison Residential College, Michigan State University. And before joining us here at Heritage in 2015, she served as an intern in the Michigan House of Representatives and later as a legislative aide there. Please join me in welcoming Tori Whiting. Tori?
Well, thank you, John, for the very kind introduction. and thank you all for joining us today for what has turned into a very timely discussion that will provide us with some real-time reactions to announcements by the administration just yesterday. So as you know, probably know, the Office of the United States Trade Representative yesterday announced around 5 p.m. that the president has approved tariffs and quotas under Section 201 on solar panels and modules and large residential washers. They provided us this lovely fact sheet and a press release announcing those determinations. Before I introduce our distinguished panelists who have so graciously, given us their time today, which I know is a very busy day for them, I'd like to start by setting the stage in a broad fashion. The full details of the president's decision are still somewhat unknown to us. Like I mentioned, all we have is a fact sheet. There will be tariffs of 30% on solar panels and modules after 2.5 gigawatts. There will be a tariff rate quota on washers, with the quota set at 1.2 million units, with an in-quota tariff rate of 20% and an out-of-quota tariff rate of 50%. There will also be a tariff on washer parts of 50% after 50,000 units. At this time, we don't know what the true economic impact of this decision will be. And we don't know which, if any, countries are excluded from these actions. We also don't know if the tariffs will result in benefits for the petitioners in these cases. What we do know from past experiences with Section 201 is this. The domestic industries that lobbied the government in each case successfully used the political process to overcome setbacks in the economic marketplace. The tariffs being sought have the potential to cause serious damage to other firms or sectors of the U.S. economy, and our guest John Taylor will be able to give us that perspective. And finally, the actions taken by the government will increase prices of solar panels and modules and washers in America. Here at the Heritage Foundation, we believe that trade policy, through specific cases or more generally, should not be about tipping the scale towards one American industry or interest group over another. Instead, policies should focus on lowering trade barriers, the best solution for all Americans. Heritage's most recent report on this topic, titled 4 Guidelines for the President When Considering Tariffs, is available on the table outside if you didn't happen to pick one up. It'll provide the administration with some key guidelines for how to handle upcoming cases that will be crossing the president's desk in a matter of weeks. So this panel will discuss the potential impact of the decisions that were made by the administration yesterday, like I said, in what turns into a real-time reaction. With these things in mind, I would like to take this time to introduce our distinguished panelists. First is Paul Nathanson. He is a partner at the Policy Resolution Group at Bracewell LLP, where he provides strategic communications counsel to clients on a range of policy issues. His focus is on message development and implementation, social media engagement, media relations, reputation management, and crisis communications. Paul is co-head of the Energy Trade Action Coalition, a group of companies, trade associations, and nonprofit organizations who came together to oppose the Section 201 petition on solar cells and modules. He has 2 decades of experience in designing and implementing public affairs campaigns on trade issues, including forming domestic coalitions to fight against unnecessary and damaging import restrictions on a range of products such as shrimp, steel, Chinese wooden bedroom furniture, and Canadian pork, some of my favorite things. In 2002, he worked with his client, the Consuming Industries, or CTAC, to oppose the Section 201 steel tariffs. CTAC's efforts to highlight the damage caused by the tariffs to U.S. steel-using manufacturers, along with the threat of retaliatory tariffs, led to the Bush administration ending the 3-year tariffs after only 18 months. Paul also worked with CTAC in the organization's successful effort to repeal the Byrd Amendment, a law that funneled dumping duties back to the companies who filed the trade petitions. After Paul, we'll have Clark Packard, who is Trade Policy Counsel at the R Street Institute. Earlier in his career, Clark served as a policy advisor and counsel to former Governor Nikki Haley of South Carolina, where he advised the governor on, among other issues, international trade opportunities for the state of South Carolina. He is a graduate of the University of South Carolina School of Law and a member of the South Carolina Bar. And finally, we'll hear from John Taylor, Senior Vice President of Public Affairs and Communications for LG Electronics USA. He represents the company before the U.S. government and in industry organizations and is LG's Chief Media Spokesman in the U.S. He also oversees public affairs and communications in Canada and leads LG's North American Corporate Social Responsibility and Sustainability Initiative. Taylor represents
Bonjour, monsieur.
Oh, enfin, un survivant.
Oui, c'est moi, c'est Audrey.
Audrey, bonjour.
Oui, vous allez bien?
Allô?
Oui, vous m'entendez?
Audrey?
Oui, vous allez bien, monsieur?
Allô?
Oui, allô, vous m'entendez? Je ne m'entends pas.
Allô?
Allô, vous m'entendez?
Audrey, tu m'entends?
Oui, je vous entends et vous, vous m'entendez?
Est-ce que tu as un... Est-ce que tu peux mettre ta sono pour
Oui, c'est bon,
t'écouter?
je l'ai mise. Est-ce que vous
Tu es la
m'entendez là?
seule qui m'a rejoint
Oui,
pour le
parce qu'en fait,
moment.
ils nous ont transmis les
Allô, tu
informations que
m'entends ou
maintenant.
pas?
Oui, je vous entends, monsieur. Vous m'entendez?
Allô, je t'entends pas du tout, Audrey.
Ah mince, attendez, je vais me connecter.
Allô, Audrey, est-ce que tu m'entends? Allô? Allô? Audrey, est-ce que tu peux me dire si tu m'entends? Si je
Attendez.
suis audible.
Et est-ce que vous m'entendez? Parce que moi, je vous entends très, très bien, monsieur. Allô?
Ah, très bien. Bah écoute, tu es pour le moment, voilà, je sais pas, tu as un problème de sono, j'aimerais que tu mettes ta sono, comme ça je ne serai pas toujours obligé d'écrire une phrase. Je vous entends pas du tout. Non, non, non. Ah, parce que tu es à Melun déjà? Ah, si tu es dans notre salle là-bas à Plagnoles, je sais pas comment ça s'appelle, et ils peuvent pas vous prévenir parce que... et comment tu as eu le lien alors, s'il te plaît? Ah, d'accord, tu ne l'as reçu que maintenant. D'accord. Bon, bah écoutez, c'est normal que tes camarades ne soient pas là dans ce cas-là, mais j'ai l'impression, Audrey, que il faut pas que tu restes dans la salle parce que, comme d'habitude, notre salle, là-bas, Internet ne passe pas très bien et tu ne vas pas m'entendre. Enfin, si, tu m'entends, mais je vais pas t'entendre du tout. Alors, il vaut mieux que tu ailles dans la salle. Où il y a le piano, peut-être, je ne sais pas. Je ne sais pas ce que tu vas faire. Mais pour
Monsieur,
le
vous m'entendez
moment,
là?
comme tu es la seule, je vais, 8 heures, je vais interrompre la séance et on va se retrouver au deuxième TD parce qu'il n'y a plus rien à faire maintenant depuis 8 heures jusqu'à maintenant, j'ai eu personne. Bon. Alors, donc, tu as un TD d'anglais. Bah, c'est ça. On est complètement dépassé là. On est complètement dans une mauvaise organisation. Zoologie. Qui est-ce qui parle de zoologie? C'est quoi la zoologie? Ah, tu veux dire Zoom? Zoomologie. Audrey, non seulement tu es intelligente, mais des fois tu es drôle. Et je t'adore quand tu fais des conneries comme ça. Zoologie. Au moins, tu m'as fait marrer ce matin. C'est bien. Tu m'as au moins détendu. Ça m'a fait marrer. Bon, je sais. Non, non, je rigole. Bon, qu'est-ce que j'allais dire? Je ne sais pas. Je vais essayer dans le deuxième TD que l'on fasse l'enregistrement, que vous puissiez l'écouter. Et c'est dommage parce que dans ton TD, j'aurais aimé que ce soit toi qui sois dans le deuxième TD parce que tu animes beaucoup le TD et tu me pousses à réfléchir et à poser de bonnes questions, mais c'est pas grave. Je vais pouvoir le faire comme si tu étais là. Bon, bah écoute, Audrey, je te remercie beaucoup d'être là et je te libère parce que là, on va pas faire grand-chose. Je vais commencer le TD suivant, je ne sais plus à quelle heure, je crois 9h30 ou je ne sais plus quand. Et après, j'ai un TD de troisième année. J'espère que le TD suivant, les gens seront assez nombreux pour pouvoir enregistrer et surtout, ce que je vais faire, Audrey, pour que tu puisses le savoir, pour que tu puisses savoir de quoi on va parler. Je vais, si tu veux, démontrer dans l'exemple du TD et pas seulement du cours, comment chaque pays gagne. Il faut que tout le monde sache le faire avec des chiffres très simples et être très convaincu de la démonstration parce que après, on va étendre cette explication ou démonstration dans le cas général avec des lettres et non pas seulement avec des chiffres. OK, Audrey, je te remercie encore une fois et puis à bientôt.